What if I told you that the most powerful Avenger grew up hidden in the shadow of two of the world's biggest child stars? Elizabeth Olsen, the woman who became Scarlet Witch, spent her childhood watching her twin sisters become millionaires while she was invisible. She almost quit acting forever because of their fame. Then she made one decision that changed everything. This is the untold story of how the other Olsen sister stepped out of the shadows and became the heart of the Marvel Universe. And trust me, her real journey is more powerful than any magic. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, we're diving into the incredible journey of Elizabeth Olsen. From the forgotten sister to becoming Scarlet Witch and one of Marvel's most powerful heroes. This story is about living in someone else's shadow, finding your own identity, and proving you're more than just someone's little sister. If you love inspiring Hollywood stories, smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This one's special. Let's get into it. Elizabeth Chase Olsen was born February 16, 1989, in Sherman Oaks, California. And from the moment she was born, she was Mary-Kate and Ashley's little sister. Her twin sisters, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, became massive child stars on the TV show Full House when Elizabeth was barely a toddler. By the time she was 5 years old, her sisters were millionaires running their own entertainment empire. Imagine growing up like that. Everywhere Elizabeth went, people asked about her famous sisters. At school, kids didn't want to be her friend. They wanted to meet Mary-Kate and Ashley. Teachers treated her differently. She wasn't Elizabeth. She was the other Olsen. Even worse, Elizabeth actually loved performing. She appeared in her sister's videos and movies as a child, playing small roles. But she was always just the little sister in the background, never the star. The constant comparisons crushed her. People would say, "Why aren't you as famous as your sisters?" Or, "You'll never be as successful as them." By the time she was a teenager, Elizabeth made a painful decision. She would give up acting entirely. It wasn't worth living in someone else's shadow forever. Instead of pursuing acting, Elizabeth focused on being normal. She attended Campbell Hall School in Los Angeles, then enrolled at New York University's prestigious Tisch School of the Arts. But not to become famous. She genuinely wanted to study the craft, to learn acting as an art form, not a business. She also spent a semester at the Moscow Art Theater School in Russia, studying classical theater techniques. She was serious about understanding her craft from the ground up. During these years, Elizabeth deliberately avoided Hollywood. She didn't use her famous last name to get auditions. She didn't ask her sisters for connections. She wanted to prove she could make it on her own talent, or not at all. But here's the thing about passion. You can't kill it. Despite trying to run from acting, Elizabeth kept being drawn back to it. She did student films, small theater productions, anything that had nothing to do with her family name. Then in 2011, at age 22, everything changed. Elizabeth was cast in an independent film called Martha Marcy May Marlene, 2011. It was a dark, disturbing psychological thriller about a young woman escaping from a cult. The role was challenging, emotionally brutal, and nothing like the family-friendly content her sisters were known for. Elizabeth poured everything into that performance. She disappeared into the character, vulnerable, traumatized, deeply damaged. There was no glamour, no playing it safe. She was raw and fearless. When the film premiered at the Sundance Film Festival, critics went absolutely crazy. They weren't talking about Mary-Kate and Ashley's sister anymore. They were talking about Elizabeth Olsen, a serious actress with undeniable talent. She was nominated for countless awards. Suddenly, Hollywood was paying attention. Not because of her name, but because of her ability. For the first time in her life, Elizabeth wasn't living in anyone's shadow. She was creating her own light. After her breakthrough, Elizabeth could have taken the easy route. Romantic comedies, safe roles, big paychecks. But she didn't. She chose challenging, complex characters in films like Liberal Arts, 2012, Kill Your Darlings, 2013, and Old Boy, 2013. She was building a reputation as a fearless actress who took risks. But she still hadn't found that one role that would make her a household name. Then Marvel called. In 2013, Marvel offered Elizabeth the role of Wanda Maximoff, aka Scarlet Witch, in Avengers Age of Ultron 2015. This was a huge gamble for Elizabeth. Superhero movies were exploding in popularity, but serious actors often looked down on them. Would joining the MCU hurt her credibility as a real actress? Plus, there was pressure. Her sisters had been international superstars. If Elizabeth failed in a major franchise, the comparisons would be brutal. But Elizabeth saw something special in Wanda Maximoff. This wasn't just a superhero. This was a deeply traumatized woman with incredible power she couldn't control. Wanda had lost her parents, been experimented on, and used her pain as power. Elizabeth connected with that. She said yes. Elizabeth didn't just show up and say her lines. She created an entire backstory for Wanda. She developed a Sokovian accent, a fictional Eastern European country. She studied grief, trauma, and how pain changes people. In Age of Ultron, Wanda was a villain who became a hero. Elizabeth made you feel her confusion, her anger, her desperate need to protect what little she had left. Her twin brother Pietro. When Pietro died in Wanda's arms, Elizabeth's performance broke hearts worldwide. That scene, that grief, it felt real because Elizabeth made it real. Audiences fell in love with Scarlet Witch, but Marvel was just getting started with her character. Elizabeth appeared in Captain America Civil War, 2016, joining the Avengers but struggling with guilt over her powers. Then came Avengers Infinity War, 2018, where Wanda faced an impossible choice: destroy the Mind Stone and kill Vision, the man she loved, or let Thanos win. Elizabeth's performance in that moment, being forced to kill Vision while fighting Thanos, was devastating. She made you feel every second of that impossible choice. Then, Avengers Endgame, 2019, where a grief-stricken Wanda nearly killed Thanos single-handedly, becoming one of the most powerful beings in the MCU. But Elizabeth wanted more for Wanda. She wanted to explore the character's grief, her trauma, her breaking point. Marvel gave her exactly that. In 2021, WandaVision premiered on Disney+, the first Marvel series to focus on Scarlet Witch. Elizabeth wasn't just a supporting character anymore. She was the lead. The show was revolutionary. It explored Wanda's grief over losing Vision through the lens of classic sitcoms, slowly revealing that Wanda had created an entire fake reality because she couldn't handle her pain. Elizabeth's performance was absolutely extraordinary. She played Wanda across different decades of TV, in different sitcom styles, while also showing her complete mental breakdown. She was funny, heartbreaking, terrifying, and human all at once. While WandaVision became a cultural phenomenon, Elizabeth earned her first Emmy nomination. Critics called it one of the best performances in the MCU's history. Suddenly, Elizabeth Olsen wasn't just another Marvel actor. She was carrying the franchise. In 2022's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Elizabeth played a villainous Wanda who'd been corrupted by dark magic. She was terrifying, powerful, and tragic, a hero turned villain by grief. Elizabeth made Wanda's descent into darkness feel inevitable and heartbreaking. Even as she did terrible things, you understood why. You felt her pain. The film grossed over $955 million worldwide, and Elizabeth's performance was praised as one of the film's highlights. But here's what makes Elizabeth's story truly special. She never stopped being a serious actress. Between Marvel films, she starred in critically acclaimed projects like Wind River, 2017, Ingrid Goes West, 2017, Sorry for Your Loss, 2018-2019, and Love and Death, 2023. She proved you could be both a superhero and a serious artist. You didn't have to choose. And those comparisons to her sisters, they disappeared. Elizabeth Olsen became her own icon, respected for her talent, not her family name. Today, Mary-Kate and Ashley are fashion designers who retired from acting. Elizabeth is one of the biggest stars in the world, carrying one of the most important characters in the MCU. The other Olsen sister became the Olsen in Hollywood. Elizabeth Olsen's journey teaches us something powerful. Your beginning doesn't define your ending. She started in the shadow of two of the most famous child stars in history. People said she'd never escape that shadow, that she'd always be the other sister. She proved them all wrong, not by competing with her sisters, but by becoming completely herself. She found her own path, took risks, chose challenging roles over easy ones, and built a career on her own terms. The girl who almost quit acting because of comparisons became Scarlet Witch, one of the most powerful and beloved characters in modern cinema. That's the real Elizabeth Olsen. From Invisible Sister to Scarlet Witch, from shadow to spotlight, from giving up to becoming irreplaceable. What's your favorite Elizabeth Olsen role? Scarlet Witch or something else? Drop it in the comments. If this inspired you, smash that like button and share this video. Subscribe and hit the bell for more incredible Hollywood stories. Remember, you're not defined by who came before you. You're defined by who you choose to become. See you in the next one.